are going to do your state space schema. Actually, this week for your assignment, you can start already with your state space schema already lah. Okay, so but of course, if you cannot finish, of course you cannot finish the whole chapter today, yeah. But I will give you how to say the first step to do the state space. Okay, before you can proceed with other structure. Okay, so under this chapter, okay, under this, don't you for me to use microphone, can or not? Susah. Can hear me, ah? Internet sikit, ah. Okay, so for the Z structure, the minimum for our Z schema is this three structure. Okay, so tuples, relations, and functions. You have heard about the word relation, tuples, functions already. But how to use this in Z schema, you will learn under this chapter. Okay. So let's look at the origin, the structure first. So we are in this chapter. You are going to learn these three. But another structure we call as extended Z structure will be in chapter 5. Okay? Will be in chapter 5. So, this one will be end of chapter. So, but these three are actually mainly for your assignment purpose. Okay? So, meaning that in your assignment, you are going to use either tuples, relation, or function to show the relationship. So Z structure is, what is actually Z structure? Is actually how you are going to show your data inside the database. Just now, let's say you saw customer just now. You have one column only. One column but many records. Okay, but now in our original database, you are not going to have one column. You may have 5 columns, 6 columns, 7 columns. It's a fill. Okay, your attributes there. So you may not have one only, you may have 5, 6, 7. It's up to your database. Okay, so how to show that in our Z schema? Okay, so these are actually the structure, we call a structure. So you can show using tuples, relation, or function. Okay, for tuples normally we are going to use mostly for display result. For example, one of your operation is to display report, any report. So the report you want to have the ID, the name of the customer, maybe the membership date, okay, the end date, for example, and then the handphone number, specific data that you want to show inside the record there. Then normally we are going to use tuples. Okay, relation and function we are going to use a lot. Before this, like customer just now, you want to show many records, you have to use power set, right? So relation and function, you are not going to use power set anymore. Okay, so we are going to use a lot of these in our assignment, mainly relation and function. Okay, mainly relation and function. Okay, so now let's look at tuples first. So tuples normally, okay, we are going to represent as a pair, triple, quadruple, and so on. So how many combination? As a record means that just now you have customer 1 column. Okay, so now a pair means 2 column, triple means 3 column, 4 column, and so on. So how to show all these? You can show using tuples. Yeah, you can show using tuples as the whole record, the whole record, the whole record. Yeah. So for example, let's say as a pair, you want to show that capital and country, for example, like this. This is a pair. Means straight away 2 data straight away. 2 data combined as a pair. So we call this as a record. Okay. So triple, you have this. Then you have maybe you have quadruple, you have 4, and then so on. So this is what we call as tuple. Okay, this is what we call as tuple. tuple, okay, this is where some of you have heard the word Cartesian product already. Okay, Cartesian product. In your tutorial 3, actually, you have to use, of course, some of you will use partial function, but some of you I will change to Cartesian product. Okay, so you have a pair just now, you have triple, quadruple, and so on. Because normally, one basic type, one column. One basic type, one column. One type, one column, that easier to say. So like customer just now, you have one type customer only, right? So that's why you have one column. Okay? So if you want to have a pair, means you want to have 2 columns, then you have to combine into two relationship lah. A relationship lah. Means you have to combine these 2 together. If you want to have 3, then you combine the 3. If you want to have 4, you combine 4. Okay? So how to combine all these? The easiest, okay, for now, is actually by using Cartesian product. Okay, Cartesian product. So Cartesian product, the symbol is X. Angka. Okay, that is the symbol of Cartesian product. Okay? So, if I say I have 2 that I want to show as a pair, I do like this. S, let's say S is one type, T is another set. So I use Cartesian product like this. Okay, but for Cartesian product, if you just use like this, it's one record only. So if it is many, then you use power set. Okay, you use power set lah. Okay. So let's say I have this. I have 3 different types. One basic type. One. Okay, this is actually built-in type. Let's say you have built-in type N, but you want to give a new nickname for N. Because in your system, you don't like to use N. Maybe some of you, I don't like to use N. I want to give a nickname. But the nickname for this is ID. Means that if you see ID, the type is N. You understand or not? So if you can do like this, ID, use define as N. So in the system, N is equals to ID. ID is equal to N. Means same thing. Okay, you understand or not? You can do like this if you want. For me, normally, I don't want to do that because when I see ID, for me, I feel like this is basic type. So I don't like to use like this. But if any of you want to do this, make sure that you know what you are doing. Because some of you want to use ID as integer, okay, but you don't want to use N. So you want to change or rename N to integer, you can just do like this. ID equal N. ID is up to you lah. You can put other things lah. So you can do like this, no problem. So mean that the ID here is equivalent to N. It's the same as N here. Okay, you give a new name for it. Okay, and then this one is the free type. Okay, you just need to put a list here. Okay, so if you use Cartesian product in a record, if you want to combine this as 3, you can just do, for example, the arrangement is up to you. For example, here I do ID, Cartesian product with N, Cartesian product with department. I name this, I rename the whole Cartesian product here as employee. Means that employee here are actually representing as ID, name, and department as one record together. Cannot be separated. Cannot be separated. As one record means when you get this record, down, one record, down, one record, down, one record. So you cannot separate individually. That is Cartesian product. Okay? So means that when I call employee, I have 3 records here. 3 record lah. 3 type here lah. 3 data combined as one record. Okay? So you can have variable declare of employee. Means that if you want to talk about the type or the data of the employee, straight away you have 3 data as one record. But this record cannot be separated. Means it's a fixed data. Okay, that is tuples. That is tuples. Okay, but of course this one record only, one record. So if you want to have many records like this, let's say you want to have many records, okay, then you have to do power set. You have to put power set. Okay, you have want to put power set. Okay, so if you want to have like this, can. Or if you don't want to do this, let's say you don't want to have this line, another way is you can also do like this. You can also do like this. Same thing, means that here I give a new name called employee, combination of ID, Cartesian product of N, Cartesian product of department. So I can put power set employee only. I don't use this one. But if I don't want to have this, I didn't do definition of this. In my system, I didn't do this. So I can straight away do like this. But make sure that you put bracket. Okay, that is another way. Okay, so this is Cartesian product. Okay, so now let's go to Microsoft Word. Yeah. Last week, I did the book module, right? Yeah, I did the book module, So I cannot find what I did because the one that inside my pen drive is not the one that we discussed. Let's say I have actual record database, actual database. I'm showing the actual database first. What I want to have in my database actually like this. Okay, so in actual database, I want to have ID, actual database. I want to have title, year, author, what are we discuss book or category, publisher. Let's say publisher. Okay, so these are actual database. Let's say you learn database. These are the record, right? These are the record normally in their table. Okay. So in our normally what we want is to have like this. Okay. So this is where, for example, ID. I will, because you remember I told you last week also. Okay, if your data here is basic type, you declare let's say string. If it's a string, let's say string data. Okay, title also string data. Assuming here is n integer. Author is string. for me, I will not do that lah. This one normally I will not do that. Okay, but this one is up to you lah. Normally I will not do this. Okay, so now, yeah. So now, if you want to make it the whole thing here into one whole record, so this is where you do the Cartesian product. Yeah, so let's say I do the Cartesian product for book. So you do this one, ID, Cartesian product, this symbol, X, title, X, author, year, publisher, for example, and then category. Example. Okay? So this is what we call as Cartesian product. Okay. So if you refer to the table here, this is the actual Cartesian product for it. Okay? But for our Z schema, assuming that I ask you, can you show me the author of the book? Only. The author only. So for here, okay lah, we can see author. But in real life, when you do Cartesian product, okay, it will be a combination of record already as book. So hold down 6 record like that. So it's very difficult for you to extract individual data. Very difficult when you do Cartesian product. Okay? So that's why the minimum for our assignment, we will go as a pair, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Means that you combine 2, 2 like this only. Okay, 2 record lah. Yeah, 2 column only. Okay, so that is the minimum for your assignment. Another thing about your assignment, okay, because as I told you just now, okay, it won't be very difficult to extract like this. Okay, so what we are going to do in assignment, okay, when you do your attribute, so this is something like attributes lah. When you do your attribute, first thing that you have to know, which one becomes your primary key. Like your database lah. Okay, in your database here, choose one to be the primary key. Let's say ID is the primary key. Okay, let's say the ID is the primary key. Yeah, let's say the ID is the primary key. So, if let's look at this as how you declare your variable in your normal if you use Cartesian product in your state space, for example, I show you like this. Let's say I have book module book module so I declare my variable books. Make it different okay, I declare my variable books power set like this. Let's say book yeah. So when I have like this, meaning that in my database I will have a record. Okay, so meaning that in my database this is my table. Okay, so this is the name this is the okay. So from here can see, oh correct lah, this is what we want This is what we want in our system actually. So you have that. But for now, if like I told you just now, let's say I give you I ask you, can you just show me the author of this book? Just the author of this book. So when you have like this, you cannot show the author of that book because the data now will be whole record, this combination of these 6 things. Okay, so it's very difficult. You just show one author how. Because you have ID, title, year, author, category, and publisher. So you have the 6 things, but your output is only you want to show the author. How to show that? How to show that? It's very difficult. Okay, when you use that schema later. So that's why, okay, we are going later to do as a pair of record. So this is where, as I told you just now, from your table, choose the primary key. Okay. So now let's say I have another. I create the new state space for book module. Okay. Let's say I want to do. So because just now I said if do Cartesian product have problem because very difficult to retrieve the information. So now why not just do individually, because book ID title is here. So I just do the maybe my variable is book ID, power set of book ID. ID, sorry. Title, power set of title. Here I put N, author, power set of author, and so on lah. I just continue lah, and so on. Okay, assuming that because if I do Cartesian product, very difficult to assess the information, right? So just separate lah, easy lah. Separate into one individual variable, right? So let's say I have like this. Okay, so let's say I have like this. So actually, our table now is different. Okay, so what happened is our table now will be like this. We have like this, Let me copy paste. Okay, so the first table is book ID, book ID. So this is table book ID. Okay, second table is title. Year and author, and so on lah. We just do others, Yeah. So now, so you have 4 variables, meaning you have 4 tables, Okay, each variable to represent 1 table, Remember just now I told you 1 variable to represent 1 table. You have 4 variables, 4 tables. So now, let's say I have book ID, assuming later you have the record and so on. Your book ID is this one. Okay, your book ID is and so on lah. And then title, format method, software engineering. Okay, software engineering, whatever lah, and so on. Year 2023, 2024, and so on. And then author, whatever lah. Okay, something like that. Okay, So now, if I ask you, can you show me the author? Can show the author. You can show the author, right? You can show the author. But now my question is, this author XXX here belongs to which book? Can you tell me? Cannot, right? Cannot, Cannot tell you belongs to which book. Here you can tell, but whole thing, you cannot tell. You can tell the whole record. But now, here, you can tell who is the author. But I will ask you again, for which book? You cannot tell me exact book now. Okay, so what happened is, so we can still use Cartesian product, but now the easiest is to show as pair of record. Okay, so let's, this is where I told you just now, find a primary key. primary key, we are going to use ID as our primary. So in order for us to improve that, let me copy this one. Okay. So ID will be my primary key. So for primary key, okay, you don't need a connection. This is the primary key. When you do like this will indicate that the record will not duplicate. Yeah, will not duplicate. Okay. So, in order for us to make sure that you can link all the records together and easy for you to retrieve the information later, we can use Cartesian product but as a pair. Okay, as a pair. So, how to do that? ID is our primary key. So, you just put in front here, put bracket, put ID, Cartesian product, title like that. Okay, so you do the same for year. And then you do the same for author. Okay, like that. So you see that this is the ID. This is the ID. This is the ID. This is the ID. Okay. So now, how your table looks like now? So I copy the whole thing again. Table here. Okay. ID. Book ID, still the same. No problem. One record only, one column only, one column only, so like this only. But for title here, you have two columns only, ID and title. So meaning that in front here, you have ID here. It can be like this. Okay? And then same for year here. You have the same thing. And then same thing for author. You have the same thing. Okay? Now you have two columns. Okay. So now, if I ask you for author XXX, for example, okay, what is the book title? What is the book title? That is my question. This author, okay, is actually for which book title? So you can refer to this B01. Then you go to the title B01. The book title is formal method. So from here, you can retrieve any information that you like from your table. Okay, so that's how you actually going to do for your assignment. Minimum for now, use Cartesian product. Why later we are not really going to use Cartesian product? We are going to go for relation and function because of the relationship here. You have to put power set. Relation and function, no need power set. Okay? So for now, when you have relation here, you remember when you draw ER diagram, right? You have many to one, one-to-one relationship, right? Okay, so you have that. So this one cannot show. One-to-one, many to one, whatever, you cannot show. Okay, you cannot show. You just show many reports only. You just show many reports. But you don't know one-to-one or many-to-one or one-to-many, whatever. No, you cannot show. So that's why here, we are going to update later using relation or function. Okay, so now you have all the primary key. You declare like this, for example. So you can see that I highlight red color here. Okay, for ID. So in your predicate part, you have to tell this ID are actually referring do the same thing. Because you are referring to the primary key here. You have to tell. You cannot simply put like this, but you didn't tell in the system. Similar like just now lah. You tell that what? Total customer cannot exceed the limit. You have to tell. So how to tell this one? You haven't, I think you have heard about domain and range, right? You have heard about domain and range, right? Okay? So, in our Z schema, we will have domain. Later also in this chapter, chapter 3, you will learn domain and range. But I just tell you earlier. Okay? So, you are going to use the keyword dom and ren. Okay? So, here, let me put different color lah. Different color. Okay. So, domain here will be this one. This is domain. Okay? Ren here, this is ren. Okay? So, the first column we call as domain. The second column we call as range. Okay? The first column we call as domain. Second column we call as range. Okay? So when you want to do in your state space schema, okay, from looking at these three variables, and with the primary key here, book ID, so how to show, from here, title here, the one which are the same for all will be the one I highlight red color here. Okay, so how to show the same? Inside here you put DOM. Okay, you put DOM. Okay, domain, ID here, this is domain. So, for which variable? Title. Okay, so DOM title equals to DOM here equals to DOM author equals to, okay, book ID, but book ID you don't have domain or range, so you straight away put book ID. Okay, so this condition tell us that this domain for the title ID, domain for the year, and domain for the author is the same as ID. That's what you mean by that. So this statement is to tell you what happens inside your system. Okay, what happens inside your system. So for your assignment, because you have to start with state space this week, so you can start with the Cartesian product first. Okay, so let's say, just move a little bit forward. Okay, you may need to change this, for example, to become at least a function. For example, you can go to ID function, partial function to title. Okay, you will see that when you learn relation and function later, we are not going to have power set anymore, because this relation will show you many to many, many to one, or one to one, or whatever. So you don't need the power set already, because it's the relation already say that many to one, so many records before. So you don't have to put power set. Okay, but for now, to continue with your state space assignment, go for at least Cartesian product first. Okay, Cartesian product. So find from your record which are actually the primary key, like this one. Among these, which one can be the primary key, and then use that to link with all other reports. Okay, so use the Cartesian product. Okay, use the Cartesian product. So that is something that you can proceed with your assignment with us. Okay, any question until here? Okay lah, okay lah. Any question? So next week I will proceed with the relation. Actually I have the last time I did so I will put this inside your. But after I explain this one, maybe I will put here. Let me explain first lah. Okay, because can lah. This one let me. Okay lah, nanti you can take care. This is my old copy last time. Okay, any question before we end our class? Okay lah.